guys, happy Halloween to all of you who celebrate, or happy fall. Today I am in the Halloween spirit. I have my ColourPop Hocus Pocus cat ears on. I have a Shein t-shirt on. And of course, I have a Halloween inspired makeup look. I will show you how I got this look later in today's video using two of the palettes that I'm gonna be ranking today. I decided to wait and post this video on Halloween because, after all, it is Halloween, and a lot of the eyeshadow palettes that I'm sharing with you guys are Halloween themed palettes. We definitely got our fair share of Halloween palettes this year. I was really excited about it, but then you're also gonna see just some fall inspired palettes included in today's ranking video. I have 19 palettes that we will be covering, and I have looks, tutorials over pretty much all of them, so I'm just gonna leave my eyeshadow palette playlist in a pinned comment, and you guys can browse through it and go back, and hopefully you have some of these palettes and maybe you can recreate some of the looks that I did. I also want to mention there's going to be a spooky giveaway in today's video. I will talk about the giveaway towards the end, but of course you can always check the description box on all of the rules and information for today's Happy Halloween spooky giveaway. If it is your first time here on my channel, I want to say hello and welcome to all of you. My name is Steff, and this is what I love to do. I love trying out new makeup. Like, you're always going to see new makeup reviews. That is the primary content here on my channel. I do multiple looks with eyeshadow palettes, makeup ranking, which is what we're doing today. We just talk about makeup and we have a good time while talking about the makeup. If that sounds like something you want to see on pretty much a daily basis, because I do tend to upload quite a bit, do me a favor, click on that subscribe button and hit the bell next to it. That way you'll be notified every time I do drop a new video. And if you like what you see, if you're in the Halloween spirit, or you just want to recap some of the palettes that I've tried over the last couple months, give this video a thumbs up before you go. As usual, I will have everything that I'm wearing linked and listed in the description box. Some of those links might be affiliate links, so if you do end up shopping through them, I thank you so much for supporting me and my channel. I will also try and link all 19 palettes. I'm pretty sure I'll have enough space to link all 19 palettes. If I run out of room in the description box, do be sure to check the pinned comment, because I might have to put the things that I'm wearing in a pinned comment, just because I have the giveaway info I need to include in the description box. So I'm ready, guys. I'm ready to rank these 19 palettes. If you guys want to see what made #1, keep on watching. Okay guys, so before I start ranking these 20 palettes, I do want to preface this entire video with saying that none of these palettes are bad palettes. Like, they're all really decent performing palettes. So I'm just ranking them based on personal preference. I'm taking into consideration the size, the cost, special shadows, just my experience, my overall experience with these shadows. I've had a chance to use all of them at least once or twice, if not more, outside of filming, doing my initial review on them. So I have a pretty good idea of how these palettes perform. I've swatched them all as well. So let's get started with the number 20 spot. Again, anything that you want to pick up, any of these palettes that I'm mentioning, I don't think you're going to be disappointed at all. Coming in at number 20 is Huda Beauty Love Fest palette. This is one of the first releases for fall 2022. This is a cute little 9-pan palette. This was a solid release from the brand. I like this color story. We had some orange, some burgundy in there, a fun pop of like a blue. I like the mattes. I like the way this palette performed. It was easy to create looks with. It's small, compact. You do get a mirror, easy to travel with, and easy to add to your stash. If you don't have any Huda Beauty, this one performs well, and I definitely recommend checking it out. Coming in at number 19 is one of my more recent palette purchases, and it is this one from KVD. This is the MoonGarden Palette. I love the artwork on it. I bought this one at Ulta. This one is like a little box style palette. I have to be careful because the shadow came broken. I'm so thankful it hasn't crumbled, but it moves around all over the palette. I'm gonna have to put some tape on it, but I mean, it moves around intact. So that's why I just want to tape it. I don't want it to crumble and get into the other shadows. But I'll tell you, it had been years that I hadn't tried a KVD palette. I only have two other things from KVD. I have the tattoo liner and I have the Good Apple foundation balm. This was, I think, a beautiful release from the brand. I like that they're giving us some new stuff. This was actually an entire collection that came with some lip products and I think some liners. I only bought the palette. I got mine at Ulta Beauty, but I think it's a nice one. I think it's a beautiful color story. I will say the mattes are really good. The mattes are user-friendly, they're easy to blend, and the shimmer shadows are more along the lines of your traditional shimmer shadows, so they're not multi or duochrome, and that's fine because not everybody wants multi or duochrome shadows. I know a lot of you mentioned in the comments of this video that for some of you that are aging gracefully, you prefer more of traditional shimmers over duochromes. Totally understand that. I am 40 years old. I am right there with you. But I thought this was a pretty release from the brand. I think this one retails for $42.50 and you can find it now at Ulta Beauty. Coming in at number 18, Too Faced Pumpkin Spice Second Slice Palette. I always want to say extra slice, but this was their fall release for 2022. Pretty basic, right? I mean, definitely pumpkin fall colors. We are getting the cardboard packaging, which I totally don't mind that it's cardboard and not tin. Yes, the price of this had increased. I think it went up by like $3 or $4. But you know, what else hasn't gone up in price? I think this is a solid performing palette, and for some of you, these are your shades. This is what you want all day long for the fall season. I don't blame you. It's a pretty palette. It's a nice performing palette. Are these the shades that I gravitate towards, you know, on an everyday basis? Not really, but there is definitely a place for this in my stash. I think there's a place for neutral tones in everybody's stash, and I thought that the palette performed well. You know, I don't mind the cardboard packaging. All the other palettes that I'm talking to you, with the exception of like 2 of them, are cardboard packaging, so that's no big deal to me. What matters is what's inside, and this one performs well. Coming in at number 17 is this little cutie pie right here from Sugar Drizzle. This is the Trick Roar Treat palette, the only dinosaur themed palette for the season, at least that I had in my stash. This is a little 6-pan palette. Those of you that picked it up, let me know what you've been thinking about this palette. I know some of you have already told me that you love it. It was just a nice way to try Sugar Drizzle and to get something small, Halloween related in your stash without spending a lot of money, but still getting a couple duochromes in here. Actually 3 duochromes in here. So 3 mattes, 3 duochromes. I'm putting it kind of lower just because you're limited on what you can do with it, but I think it performs great. I love this palette. I even love that they gave us a mirror, another cute release from Sugar Drizzle. Coming in at number 16 is ColourPop and Hocus Pocus 2 collaboration. This is their 3rd time collaborating, but the first collaboration with the Part 2 movie. This is where I got the cat ears from. It was part of this round 3 Part 2 collection, and here's what the color story looks like. I do want to let you guys know that I took this with me to Dallas last weekend. I went to a Dallas Cowboys game. I went to the Texas State Fair. I wore this to the State Fair, and I got so many compliments. So many people just came up and said, "Oh, I love your makeup. What are you wearing?" And, you know, just complimenting me on the makeup look that I had. This is a solid performing palette, typical good ColourPop quality. I think they did such a beautiful job with their collection. ColourPop always just does beautiful collections. They always seem to get it right. Yeah, every now and then there's a miss, but this palette and everything they included in the collection was definitely on point, and I love that it has green and purple and orange. Really nice palette. I will say that, and I mentioned this in this video, out of all 3 palettes, because this is the 3rd palette that they released from the Hocus Pocus franchise, I'm still partial to the original. Just like I still love the first movie, I still love their first palette. I think that is the best one. If that's still available on the ColourPop website, I definitely pick up the first palette. If you haven't done so already, or maybe you've already panned it, maybe you need an updated one, definitely grab that one. And then this one I would put in 2nd place, and then I'd put the 2nd palette in 3rd place. Coming up in the number 15 spot, an amazing release from Tarte. This is the Tarte Maneater After Dark palette. Packaging A+. I love the packaging of this. You have gold in the back When you open it up, I don't think the camera does this palette justice. I think it's gonna take you seeing it in person, getting it home, and playing with it. I feel like it translates more pink and mauve than what it actually does in person. That's just, you know, my personal opinion. But I think this is a home run from Tarte. This was something that I was really drawn to. I'm not drawn to a lot of Tarte eyeshadow palettes. I love trying their complexion products. I think they do a really great job with their complexion products. But, you know, eyeshadow palettes, I feel like they all look the same, but this was a little something different. I would have loved to have seen a matte green because this green is a shimmer. But other than that, I like it. I like it. I feel like this is different for Tarte, and I hope we get some more palettes, you know, that are a little bit different, a little more outside of the box from the brand. If you haven't picked this up, if you haven't tried it, I would say this would make a fantastic gift. And especially now that there's a lot of Ulta coupons going around. There's Sephora. Actually, I don't know if this is at Sephora. If it is, then obviously you can get it on sale. But I know Tarte, like on their website, they're always running a bunch of sales and stuff. This is a nice one. And if you've been away from the brand for a while, this would be a nice one to come back and try the brand. I know after buying this palette, I was inspired to pick up some more products just to do a full face of Tarte makeup. So I do have a Tarte playlist. You can search for that on my channel. And I did pick up some of the holiday gift sets and I was trying them out in that latest full face of Tarte video. But I like it. You know, I thought this was a solid release from Tarte. Coming in at number 14, Unearthly Cosmetics, the Weirdos palette. Love the artwork. On all, they released 4 different palettes and I have 2 of them in my stash. This one I was sent in PR. Love the artwork on it. You do get a mirror and then you open it up and you get, I feel like this is the grungy Barbie color story. What do you guys think about that? But I love it. I love the way this palette looks. I love the way the palette performed. I did create, I think I did 3 looks with this palette. I've only used it once since doing that video, but I think it's a cute palette. And if you loved all of these movies that the palettes represented, this one is The Craft, I believe, then you would love picking up these palettes. I know a lot of you mentioned you picked up all 4. Wow, what an amazing Halloween collection you guys have established for yourself. But this is another great palette from Unearthly Cosmetics. For me, I love the matte shades in this palette more than I love the shimmer shades. Not that they don't perform well, I just really love the way the mattes performed. And of course I love these 2 shadows down here. I thought this was a really cute palette from Unearthly Cosmetics, and I think they did a great job with the entire collection, to be honest. I do have another Halloween palette from Unearthly Cosmetics that you guys will see later in the video, so stay tuned. But coming in at number 13, we have the Natasha Denona My Dream palette. So I am gonna say, if you've never tried Natasha Denona like midi size palettes, because this would be considered a midi size at $69, this would be a nice one to get to be your first midi palette. However, if you have some of the larger palettes, you might feel you have similar shadows already. This is a brand new palette as far as shades go, with the exception of 2 of the shadows, one of them being this one, and then the other one being, I don't remember. It was another, I want to say it could be this one or this one. I don't remember, but I mentioned it in my video of this palette. But this palette doesn't disappoint. Like, the quality is there. It's a very pretty neutral palette. I think this is a really nice fall color story, but definitely don't reserve it for fall. But for those of you, like I said, that you've never tried a palette of this size from Natasha Denona, and maybe you've never tried anything from her brand at all, I think this would be a great place to start, because these are the dream shadows that Natasha herself would include in a palette, and she did that. I also want to mention that the lip products that were in this collection, it was a lipstick and a lip liner that are both in the shade Natasha. They had been pre-existing already, and then there was a lip gloss, also the shade Natasha. The lip gloss is new. I have been wearing those lip products like at least a couple times a week since getting this collection, and I love them. So I think if you're gonna go for the palette, pick up at least the bullet lipstick or pick up the lip gloss, because it's the perfect complement to this palette, and I think it's another home run for Natasha Denona. Coming in at number 12, we have Melt Cosmetics and their Bad Side Zodiac palettes. You can find these right now on the Sephora website, so you'll be able to take advantage of the sale price on them during the VIB sale. We have 4 different palettes here. So the first one is the Water palette. This one is going to represent Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. I am a Pisces, so automatically I am drawn to this color story. The next one I have here is the Fire palette. This one represents Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. I'll admit, guys, when I first saw this palette, I wasn't too impressed. It took me applying it to the lids to be really impressed with the palette and to actually rank this higher, because I ranked all 4 of them in the video, higher than what I initially thought. So this one actually turned out to be a really nice palette. Next, we have the Air palette. This one is going to be your purple and peach palette. It represents Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. And then last but not least, we have a beauty right here. This is the Earth palette. Earth, of course, is going to represent Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Love it, guys. I created looks with all 4 palettes. Check out that Melt video. But for a $38 price tag, 8 shadows, I mean, it's nice little sturdy packaging. You do get a mirror in there as well. This is a cute little gift. Maybe a buy one, give one. You know, maybe you buy 2 of them, give one to somebody, keep one for yourself, especially if they have a birthday coming up within these months that the palettes represent. I think this would be a beautiful gift, and it's a great way to get the brand in your stash if you don't have it already. Coming in at number 11 is Simply Posh Cosmetics, and this is the Genuine Gems palette. So many of you have said you picked this palette up and you loved it. I have a very special place in my heart for this brand because this brand is located right here in South Texas where I live. That's really unheard of. I don't meet a lot of people in this beauty space, in this community from South Texas, let alone a brand, but Simply Posh, they're local, so they're always gonna have a special place in my heart. And with this type of eyeshadow formula, they're definitely going to have a special place in my heart. The matte shades in here are definitely the focal point. This is a beautiful jewel-toned, rich jewel-tone inspired color story. I love that we get 1 row of shimmers and then we have the 2 row of mattes to where we can lighten and deepen. There's just so much versatility with this palette. I'm not too sure if it's still in stock. It will be linked in the description box. There are no affiliate codes yet. That is something that the brand has said already that they are going to be working on for 2023. They're a very young brand, so any support that you can show them, it is much appreciated. This palette is beautiful. This is a colorful fall palette and a nice way to support local South Texas business, just Texas indie-based business in general. Genuine Gems from Simply Posh Cosmetics, A+. Alright guys, in the number 10 spot is actually one of the palettes that I'm wearing in today's video, and it is this one from Lethal Cosmetics and Theresa is Dead. This is the Theresa is Lethal palette. I didn't get to do a full dedicated video on this palette. It arrived when I had gotten sick, so I did do a YouTube short and an Instagram reel, and that's why I wanted to incorporate it into today's video. So when we get to the tutorial portion of the video, you're definitely going to see me using this palette and another one that is in this top 10 list, but this is their round 2 collaboration. I don't think I got last year's palette. I want to say I got a couple eyeliners, but that was it. And initially I had ordered the entire bundle, but they only shipped the palette, and this was from Camera Ready Cosmetics. They only shipped the palette. They didn't end up shipping everything else. They said it was on back order, and I didn't see that when I ordered it, so I just said, you know, just cancel those items and just at least get me the palette home, because this was definitely something that I wanted to play with. Although I was looking forward to those blushes, I might end up ordering them later, but I'm really happy with this palette. Lethal is another brand that I feel like their formula is just improving with every palette they release, and I love this color story so much. I think you can definitely see how it's represented on my eyes. I love the greens down here with the purple, this little baby lilac pink over here. This was a good release. The entire collection just looks so good. So happy for Theresa on her round 2 collab with Lethal Cosmetics. Great job, guys. Coming in at number 9 is a palette that sold out so fast. I know so many of you, if you haven't received it yet, you're awaiting your palette. Minka from Adept Cosmetics. I love the Adept Cosmetics packaging. I love this like leatherette packaging. I just think it's so luxe, so beautiful. But Minka is gonna be the palette for those of you who like sparkly shadows, duo multi-chrome shadows, but you want something a little more neutral, because let's be honest guys, a lot of the multi-chromes and duochromes that come out are green, purple, pink, red. I mean, for some of you, they're not everyday wearable colors. I think this is a beautiful everyday, even though it's a sparkly palette, this is a more wearable everyday palette. The only thing for me and Adept Cosmetics lately is I need a couple more mattes. Like, I'm really hoping that in 2023 we get an even split, 6 mattes, 6 shimmers. I think, would that be something new for the brand? I don't know that I've ever seen a 6 and 6 split in a palette, but I'd love to see that. So I'm hoping, Adept, if you're watching, give us a few more mattes to play with. I think the mattes just make the looks a little more versatile, but beautiful. If you've never tried Adept, you're missing out, especially if you are a sparkle queen. I love to sparkle. This brand, this palette is definitely right up my alley, and you have different textures in here. So like this is more of a smoother texture, so is this one, and then these have, I don't want to say chunky isn't the right word, they're just more heavily textured than others, but nonetheless it is beautiful, amazing, stunning. I even got the face palettes when this one, they sent this one to me in PR. I bought all 4 of the face palettes myself, and I've been loving those face palettes. So great job, Adept. Let me know what you guys think of this palette, those of you who already have it in your stash. And I want to say the pre-order has already closed for this one. I think it closed over the weekend. Not entirely sure. It will be linked in the description box. I do have a code with them. It is Steff. I think it's just Steff, and that will give you 10% off of your order. Next is another palette that I took with me on my little vacation to Dallas, and it is this one right here from Colored Raine. This is the Thunder palette. Of course, I had to take a blue eyeshadow palette with me because I was going to the Dallas Cowboys game, and their colors are blue and gray. This is a palette that I wore to the Dallas Cowboy game. Definitely got compliments on my eye look that day. I think this is a blue palette without totally being a blue palette, because it definitely has some versatility with these lighter like gray taupey shades, and even the shimmers. Like, you don't have to create an all blue look. You can do something a little more taupe, a little more gray toned than just doing it all blue. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to bring this palette along with me. I just found that, you know, the matte shades in here are phenomenal. The shimmer shadows as well. Colored Raine is another brand that I think also is just getting better and better with every release. I have a lot of 6-pan palettes from Colored Raine. I love them so much. I love their eyeshadows. I love their lip products. Colored Raine has been doing a lot of things right. They've really been getting it right this year, and I'm really happy to add this palette to my stash. Coming in at number 7 is Apocalypse from Klartiy Cosmetics. This is the other palette that I have on my eyes today. So I use this one and the Theresa is Lethal palette to achieve today's eye look. This palette is a beautiful palette, and I think this was a re-release. I thought this was a brand new palette for this year, but I think one of y'all said this had come out last year and it was just restocked this year. Not entirely sure, but I thought this was such a different take color story wise for a Halloween palette than what we've seen from other brands and in other palettes. I just thought it was really different. I really like it. I love the inclusion of like this red and orange, and then with like the random blue, green tones and the gray, the pinks. I just think it's a random palette, and I love the way it all looks together. You know, I've had a really good experience with this palette. I know a lot of you have mentioned that, you know, you'd rather have smaller pan sizes with a little less product to kind of bring the price tag down a bit. I know Klartiy is going to be making some changes for 2023. Maybe that will be one of them. I think it's a really pretty palette. And these shimmer shadows, these multi-duochrome shadows in here are phenomenal. Like, Klartiy, another brand that has been stepping up their formula game. I thought this was just a really cute release. really nice actually, and I'm very happy that I was able to add this to my stash. Coming in at number 6 is going to be a fall palette, and this is from Blend Bunny. This is the All Done Up palette. This is a recent addition to my stash. I've only been able to use it once since my initial review of the palette, but this is what it looks like. We're getting 15 different matte shadows and then 5 different shimmer shadows. This was actually a full collection. It came with 3 or 4 different lip kits, which I've really been enjoying, the liquid lipstick and the lip liners. But this could be my favorite Blend Bunny palette that I have in my stash. And I have 3 Blend Bunny palettes. The first one I bought was Dollhouse, which that is a beautiful palette. The next one I bought was Primal, and then this was my 3rd one. I think this is just beautiful. It's like it has a little bit of a grungy vibe to it, and those shimmer shadows are fantastic. Everybody loves Blend Bunny for their matte formula, but you know what? You gotta give it to them for their shimmer formula. Their shimmer formula is pretty outstanding. If you were on the fence about this one, don't be. This is a great neutral palette to add to your makeup stash and a great way to try and support indie makeup. Now we're entering the top 5. Coming in the number 5 spot is Nomad Cosmetics Hudson Valley palette. This could be the quintessential fall palette. If you're wanting a palette that doesn't represent Halloween, that's just a traditional fall inspired palette color story, look no further than Hudson Valley. I mean, these matte shades look like velvet to me. I mean, they're just so rich and pigmented. They're so easy to blend. You get 3 shimmer shadows in that center column, and I just think that everything about this palette is so special, so unique. I love it. I love it, especially, you know, me being a more colorful makeup lover. I can get behind a palette like this. I think there's definitely a place for neutrals in everybody's makeup stash, and this palette from Nomad Cosmetics just perfectly embodies the word fall. I do have a code with Nomad. It is Steff10 that will give you 10% off of your order, and I believe there is a new palette coming up on November 1st, the Santa's Village palette, which you can use my code. You can get a discount off of that palette as well. But if you're looking for more of a fall neutral color story, then Hudson Valley is your palette. Coming in the number 4 spot, we have Dark Fantasy from Beauty Bay. This is actually going to be one of the things included in today's giveaway, so stay tuned for that. This palette retails for $18, and look at these shadows. We get a lot of depth with these shadows, a lot of just rich shades. I'm loving the green section, a little bit of the purple. We do have the matte black, matte white, that dark blue over here in the corner. For 18 bucks, 20 shadows. This is a great formula, and I didn't have to tweak the way I applied the shadow. I always start with the lightest shade and work down towards the deepest. I was able to do that method, and it performed just fine. The shimmers are a bit textured. I would recommend maybe using some glitter glue or using your finger to apply, definitely spraying the brush, but I just had a great time with this palette. I love this color story so much. Definitely a colorful vibe, and I think this is a beautiful color story for Halloween. All right, guys, top 3. I have to say that any one of these palettes could easily be in the number 1 spot. Just all of the palettes, really. All of the palettes that I talked about, all 20 palettes, were just so good. You know, I don't have anything bad to say about any of the palettes, you know. That's why it was really hard for me. I went back and forth on how I wanted to arrange this, but I think the way I ranked them, I think for me and my experience, I think I did it pretty good. So coming in at number 3 is the palette so many of you ordered, so many of you were so excited about, and I have to say that because of you guys and watching this video and commenting that I needed to watch the movie Beetlejuice, I've seen Beetlejuice 7 times now. 7 times in the last 5 days. 7 times in the last 5 days. I am totally understanding the Strange and Unusual palette now. I recognize all of the references. I recognize all of the shade names. This is from the brand Bella Beaute Bar. You do get a mirror. This is Beetlejuice. I remember when I reviewed this palette, I'm like, how do you pronounce this? But this is the way Beetlejuice is spelled in the movie. It's the way he spells his last name. And then you have the regular spelling of the movie. Where is it? Yeah, right here, Beetlejuice, the way we would normally spell it, right? But yeah, so different things that I learned, and I remember, you know, the scene in the movie where she says, I am strange and unusual. So all of this palette makes so much sense now that I've seen the movie. Thank you guys for telling me, for making me watch the movie. I did tell you guys I would watch it before Halloween was over, and I've seen it so many times. I'm probably gonna go put it on in the background while I edit this video, but this was, I think, has been the best release to date from Bella Beaute Bar. This is such a phenomenal palette. For me, I think if this green would have just been a little bit brighter, a little more pigmented, I think this could have been in the #1 spot. But I mean, you're gonna buy this palette, of course, because you like the movie Beetlejuice, but because these duochromes, multi-chromes, the shimmer shadows are spectacular. Spectacular. I don't know. I don't remember. I think this was going to be on another pre-order. I'll have to check, and I'll put it in the description box. I do have a code. It is Steff10 that will give you 10% off of your order. And thank you to everybody who used my code. Wow, you all came out and you supported not just Bella Beaute Bar, but you supported me and using my code. So I just want to say a big thank you guys for all of that. Have fun. Have fun with Strange and Unusual palette. And thank you to everybody who told me I better go watch Beetlejuice, because I think it is just such a hilarious movie. So much fun. Coming in at the #2 spot, we have Gourmand Girls by Doodles by the Bunny. This is their collaboration palette, and this is the Spooked palette. Doodles by the Bunny is over on Instagram, and she creates fictitious palettes for all different brands. She designed this palette from the inside out. She picked the color story. Christina, the owner from Gourmand Girls, just let her have free reign, and this is what they were able to create, and I love it. This palette is beautiful. I have done a look using both of these palettes together. It was a YouTube short and an Instagram reel, so you can definitely search for that on my YouTube short playlist, but this is a beautiful palette. I have to say the matte shades in this palette are phenomenal. This could also be one of the best palettes that Gourmand Girls has ever done. I like that we're getting a nice split of matte and shimmer shadows in here. I just think it is such a solid performing palette. I love that it's spooky, it's Halloween. It's just a fun color story. The green, the pink, this matte shadow, by far one of the best matte shadows I think I've ever tried, like ever, in any palette. Gourmand Girls and Doodles by the Bunny, fantastic collaboration palette. Now coming in the #1 spot, can you guess which one it is? A lot of you, this is going to be your #1 as well, and this is Unearthly Cosmetics Warms My Blood. And I had totally forgotten, but this is Aaliyah, and this is is it Queen of the Damned, the movie? I forget, I haven't seen the movie, but I do remember Aaliyah, and I do remember watching her music videos. Such a talent gone so soon, like way, way, way too soon. She was just about to really explode at her untimely passing. But how gorgeous is this artwork? I think Unearthly Cosmetics did a fantastic job with all of these palettes. This was the largest palette. The Weirdos palette and the 2 others were all that smaller 12 pan size. This is obviously a 20 pan palette. Unfortunately, I do believe that these Halloween palettes are no longer available. I don't think they are making a return, to my knowledge. This was one of the ones to sell out the fastest, this one and Weirdos, and I don't believe they have plans to bring it back in stock. This could have just been, you know, special edition, limited edition. If I can find out anything else, I will most definitely let you know. I loved the color story when I bought this palette, but it took me playing with it to really be inspired by it. I just think that everything, every shadow was so well thought out, and everything just performed like above and beyond expectation. And get this home, swatch it if you haven't done so already. But I was blown away. This was a beautiful palette. It's one of those palettes that you just gotta experience for yourself to really appreciate how beautiful it is. And I think Unearthly Cosmetics, fantastic. Great job, guys. Okay, guys, so after ranking all 20 palettes, let me go ahead and show you how I got today's look. Alright guys, so those are all 20 of the Halloween and fall inspired palettes that I added to my stash for 2022. How did your favorite palettes rank in today's video? Let me know in the comments down below if you agreed with how I ranked everything. What would you have put in the #1 spot? Sound off in the comments. Now let's talk about today's giveaway, because today's giveaway is of course gonna be in honor of Halloween, fall Halloween, and of course it's going to include the Beauty Bay Dark Fantasy palette along with some other goodies that I have in my stash. Let me go ahead and put a picture of here. So far these are the items that I have. This could grow if I get some other things that I'm able to add, but as of right now these are the products that one of you lucky winners out there will have the chance to win. This giveaway starts today, October 31st, and it closes on Sunday, November the 6th at 6 p.m. CST. There is a Google form in the description box where I'm just asking for some basic contact information. I will be contacting you through your email or through Instagram or both, but for sure through the email that you indicate on that Google form. I am not responding to anybody's comments. No comments. I'm only gonna heart everybody's comments, but this is to hopefully eliminate a lot of the spam accounts that say, hey, you won, message me on WhatsApp. I don't even use WhatsApp, guys. Don't believe it. I'm not responding to anybody's comment. You will be notified via the email that you indicated if indeed you are the winner. This giveaway is of course an international giveaway that is void where prohibited, and the winner assumes all taxes, duties, and fees associated with final delivery. I pay to ship it there. You pay for whatever else you need to do to get it to your residence. Guys, all of the rules and details are in the description box. They're also in the Google form. Please make sure that you read through all of them so you know exactly what you need to do to enter today's video. Of course, you gotta be subscribed. You gotta give this video a thumbs up. And of course, you gotta leave a comment. You gotta leave a comment letting me know which palettes were your favorite. What was your top 3? Just leave a comment. Leave a comment, something related to the video. And that's it, guys. A random winner will be selected. I don't choose it. The computer chooses it on November the 6th around 6 p.m. CST. So make sure you are checking your email around that time to see if you are the winner. I will post in the community section and over on my Insta stories once I've selected a winner and once the winner has accepted their winnings. Guys, I'm so excited about today's giveaway. I also want to mention that I do have another giveaway going on over on Instagram, and that giveaway is in collaboration with Gourmand Girls, Makeup Release Radar Official, and Doodles by the Bunny herself. I will leave a link to that Instagram giveaway in the description box in case you want to check it out. I know some of you have already entered, so thank you so much, those of you who have entered already. That giveaway is not being handled by me. That giveaway is being being handled by Gourmand Girls. So if you have any concerns or questions, please forward them to Gourmand Girls. She is the one that is taking care of that giveaway. I'm just so happy that I was asked to participate, and it's just another way that we can give back and show you guys just how appreciative we are of all of your love and support. I want to thank you guys so much for watching another one of my videos. You all have a great day or night wherever it is you all are at. Stay hydrated, guys. Drink that water, and I'll see y'all very soon. Bye.